Somewhere we got off track and we somehow thought that the goal of life is comfort, predictability, security, routine. When in fact Jesus has called us to a faith adventure. He's put his Spirit on the inside of us. And Acts 1:8 says that he gives us the power to be witnesses, not to do witnessing, but to be witnesses. To be his light, his life, his hope in the midst of a lost and a broken world. But I think somewhere along the line, we lost the plot. And if you turn with me to the book of John, chapter 17, I've quoted a lot of Bible, but I don't want to make you nervous, so we'll actually turn there this morning. John chapter 17. Pastor Perry couldn't believe that this table was so low. Are you there? Is this the lowest it's ever been? Ever? John 17, verse 14. Jesus says, I've given them your word and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I'm not of the world. I do not pray, church, get this. I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I also have sent them into the world. I love this because Jesus says in verse 15, I do not pray that you take them out of the world. Now, for a long time, I think the church has looked for a reason to get out of the world. We don't like that big, bad, ooga booga monster world. It's just too evil and it's too powerful. And yet Jesus says, I'm not praying that you take them out of that world. In fact, as you sent me, Father, out of the comfort of heaven into a lost and a broken world, I am sending my church out of the comfort of the four walls of doing church to being church 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He says, as you sent me, I send them. Now, somewhere along the line, we lost the idea of what Jesus was talking about. And if I was to draw a circle here today, church, and say the world, it is amazing throughout church history what we would call worldly. Not what the Bible calls worldly, but what we, the church, have adopted as worldliness. Now, depending what tradition you're from and what time of history it is, some have called worldliness, whether it's having long hair or short hair, having makeup or no makeup, wearing slacks or not wearing slacks, having tattoos or not having tattoos, or whatever. Everyone's got different things that are called worldly. But most of that have got to do with external things. And last I checked, Christianity was never an external behavior modification program. It's actually a heart transformation program. Jesus is consumed with transforming the human heart, and then generally what happens is your external behavior changes. But it all starts from your heart. So what happened was we thought that, you know what, being a good Christian is defined by what I no longer do. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have tats, I don't have long hair, I don't. And you too could become a Christian like me and not do anything and be boring and bland and have a personality bypass and not be anything. You too can do that. It is amazing to me what we think would make people excited to be a Christian. So we've defined our whole Christian life by what we no longer do. I used to be a drug addict, now I'm not. I used to be abused, now I'm not. I used to go out to parties, now I'm not. I used to be the life of the party before I was saved, now I'm a Christian. I wear beige. I have no personality. What is that all about? But then we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. All we know is what I don't do anymore. And we've defined our Christian faith by what we no longer do. And yet in John 10:10, Jesus says the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But guess what? I came that you might have life, Zoe, and life more abundant. I've come to give you a passionate, purpose-driven life. I've come to make you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. I put my Spirit on the inside of you to be salt and light wherever you go. I've given you a life that you never, ever dreamt was possible, because it's a life of purpose and it's a life of passion. It's not just defined by what you no longer do.